Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's Baker Creek Seeds gone wild. I was going through a bunch of my stuff and I thought these two packages here had already been opened and they had not. Those are from 2021. So we're going to open those up first. These two were from August, and then there are a few I got free from my Green Stalk, which is another company. But I want to go ahead and open these up and see what I got. It's going to be like Christmas in September, figuring out what I had from back here. I wonder if I've repurchased some seeds, not realizing that these two were like hidden from me. And I'm going to be, so I'm going to go ahead and just do it all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Aubrey from Crybaby Settlement Homestead, and I am totally in love with Baker Creek the rare seeds, and I love finding things that are really unique and unusual. So let's go ahead and rip this open. Look here, I am seriously not exaggerating. This was misplaced. It was actually not misplaced. It was in with my seeds. I just thought I had opened it and I hadn't, because sometimes I keep the packages for the purpose of reusing the bubble wrap when I send things out in the mail. Sometimes I'll do like seed swaps and things like that with different groups, and I'll keep pieces of the envelope. And I thought this was literally an empty envelope, but to my surprise, it's seriously unopened seeds. So yes, you can see this is not pretend. I literally have these seeds for 3 years unopened. So I really have no idea what is in here. Here's the date on that receipt. So this was like Christmas time from 2021. And this is probably when I started doing that deal where I was like, don't spend more than $15 a week. $13.14 was my total. So let's see if it was worth it. So there was a period where Baker Creek was giving out this Komatsuna Old Tokyo free seed packets with the orders. And it's like if you spend 10 or 15, it's changed a few times. But I think it's like if you spend $10, you get a free seed packet. And I have never planted these. I have a few of the free seed packets. Just kind of show you here. It's a traditional Komatsuna from Tokyo, Japan. It's dense in nutrition. It's known as spinach mustard, and it can be used raw or cooked. And I really like that versatility. Now, like at this point in my life as a gardener, I want things that can be used multiple ways. I want things that can be used raw or cooked, and also that don't require a lot. So it's like less inputs, more outputs, and more bang for your buck is what I'm looking for. So I got this for free. And next, you know what? I might actually plant a little bit. I'm not sure. It says it's cold. It's frost tolerant. Fall conditions. Okay, so I can actually plant some. And since this is from 2021, I might actually plant some like in the next day or two. I'm going to put this off to the side. And then any of them that are for next year, I'm going to go ahead and organize those away. Marigold, sweet mace, or Mexican mint. It's a perennial. Love that. Late blooming marigold, great in teas and other drinks. So that's what I'm talking about for versatility. Like here you have a really pretty flower. It's a perennial, which means you don't have to keep planting it over and over again. It can be used in teas and drinks and dishes. And it's a Hispanic heirloom, because I am trying to do a little bit of my husband's side of the family, like trying to get some culture into our garden, not just mine. So this is really interesting. I like that. So that's beautiful. Dahlia Unwinds Mix. Isn't that pretty? I mean, each flower looks so different to me. So it's kind of like a surprise. This is also perennial, but it says it's tender, which means that if it gets too cold, it will be like an annual. low growing bedding type, single and semi-double flowers, and colorful mix of rose, orange, yellow, crimson, purple, and brick red. Oh, I love that brick red and the crimson. Start indoors 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks, not 46 weeks. That would be ridiculous. Before last frost or direct sow after spring frosts have passed. So this is going to be for next year, clearly. Oh, but the tubers may be overwintered in frost-free conditions and replanted following year. I'm not sure that I have to actually pull them in my climate. I think some dahlias actually do survive over winter here, but a good mulching might be enough. I don't want to have to pull things up. It's just a lot of extra work. So I'm hoping those will be perennials for me. Bloody Dock. Isn't that beautiful? And it says that this is also perennial. You can grow it as an annual. I think it's very ornamental. Actually, I think I'm thinking about planting this out in front of the house, like behind some flowers. I think that will look really neat. I don't have deer in my area. You see my nails? They're actually bruised. Isn't that sad? I smashed my fingers in the sliding glass door. Ugh, smarty pants. So these are tangy, tender greens each spring. So I'm thinking that the tender new growth is what you're going to eat. When they get really big, I'm sure that it's not going to be as tasty. But I'm thinking when the leaves get really large, I'm just going to leave those as an ornamental foliage in the background of all the flowers in the front. Okay. And it says unwanted volunteers. I like volunteers, and I always transplant them someplace else if I get something like that. It could be invasive in some climates. I've planted Bloody Dock before. I haven't actually eaten it because I wasn't really familiar with like how to use it and so forth. But I didn't see it being invasive at all, so I don't think it's invasive in my climate. I'm going to infer that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to plant this yet or now or later. Probably later. So I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm trying to organize my stuff so that I'm like deciding what can I fall plant and what needs to wait. And here's some more of that Mexican mint. I'll save this for later. Let's go ahead and rip into the next package. Then that one's also from 2021. So you can see here, this is the date on the next package, and it looks like the same date as the previous one. It doesn't mean I ordered them on the same date, but probably I did. I don't know why. Sometimes they had like a deal, and I was like, I did the deal. I did something, and then I realized that there was a deal, and I went back in or something. Or I wanted the free seed packets. So I split into 2 orders. Let's go ahead and rip this one open and see what I got. So I did this order a couple days before the other one. Even though they shipped on the same day, I did order it earlier. And I think I know why. This one was a little bit more expensive order. This one was $30 after taxes. But I got some really cool stuff in here. So I've got some cactus seeds. And all of the seeds end up with different types of cacti. So it's always a surprise when you plant them. And I did order some seeds from them before and also from My Gardener. The reason why I bought so many was because I had some students in my science class who said they wanted to plant some succulents or cactus. And so I actually bought them for my class. And then I think I ended up not getting around to it. So this year apparently we're going to have clubs. And the kids who were there last year, they can still plant them because it's open to any grade level for me. So they didn't end up getting the cacti. I guess I didn't realize I ordered them. I ended up letting them plant Mother of Thousands because I had a mother plant with little baby plantlets on each leaf. So because I misplaced these and didn't realize I had already ordered them, I actually had those kids planting a different kind of succulent that I had from clones. And that worked out really well. But now I have these seeds. I want to put them to use. I'm going to bring these to my classroom. And I thought it would be really cute for the kids to make their own cacti medium for planting it in. And I'm going to have them use little K-cups. So I have a Keurig in my classroom. A student teacher actually gave me her old one because she got a brand new one. And I was like, okay, thank you. And I've been buying those K-cups, but I only use K-cups at school. I don't use them at home. I use just instant coffee. So at school, I use the K-cups, and I always put a little note next to all the other teachers' Keurigs, and it'll say, like, please keep all the K-cups for Aubrey, place them in my box, whatever. And then my students rip out the top part and the liner and rinse it out really good, let it dry. Then they can use Sharpie markers and design it like it's a little tiny pot. And that's perfect for these because I planted these from seed before from Baker Creek and in my gardener. They have a really good germination rate. I wouldn't say like 100%, but really good. And if the kids plant one seed per Keurig little thing, I'll place those like in a tray with water on the bottom, like during holidays and stuff, so they don't dry out completely. That's a really great way to start them. And honestly, a Keurig little tiny K-cup, those will work as a pot for the baby cacti for a really long time because they grow so stinking slowly. This is going to be a great project for my students. Because I know I have so many of these seeds, I'm just going to let every single kid, whether or not they're in my club, every single kid that I have can actually plant one. And if it doesn't work, then they can plant another one. So yeah, these are going to go to my classroom. Oh, and this other packet here is African Nunum basil. Okay, and I went through a period where I was buying every kind of basil I could possibly find because I love it. This is a common culinary herb used in the tropics and subtropics. It's been brought back to us by our grower, Solomon Amuzu from Ghana. It's used in salads, soups, pastas, vinegars, and jellies. It thrives in heat, may be sown in place in long summer areas, or started indoors and set out after the last frost date of spring. So remove flower buds promptly to prolong. Yeah, that's a good tip for all kinds of basils. If your basil starts to go to flower, if you remove the flowers, then you'll get more basil. Eventually, if you let them go to flower and seed, then you'll have those seeds for the next year. So I will do this next year, but I'm going to start them inside really early. So that will be for 2025. This package here is pretty big. This was from this summer. Let's crack into it. I don't know why I bought such a big order because I have so many seeds, but I'm sure there is a reason. Let's see why. This order was just not too long ago, actually. This is from August 15th, so it was only a few weeks ago. And I really do like how they package this. It's pretty cool because they have like 1, 2, 3 across. So you can see I got this green Aurelia's Verde amaranth. And amaranths are awesome because you can eat the leaves as well as the seeds. It's rich in protein and other nutrients. It was of Mayan variety, almost lost during the Civil War. So this is going to be for next year. I want to plant a lot of amaranth out front because it's so pretty. It will look ornamental and nobody will even know. So it's kind of like a gray man's crop if you're into prepping. A gray man's crop you can plant. People don't even notice that it's food. So they'll just think it's flowers unless they're really familiar with it. All right, so that's kind of a smart thing to do. If you believe that something could happen in the future, planting some gray man crops is a smart idea. I'm not sure how to say this. It's Opopio amaranth. Isn't that pretty? It reminds me of Love Lies Bleeding, but it looks a lot more full. What's special about this? So it's a large plant, delicious, edible, bronze green foliage, and striking vertical flowers in deep red. So that's gorgeous. Then there's celery. And I've been really lucky with growing the white Chinese celery and the pink celery. This one's a different variety than I normally grow. This one was a free gift. Yeah, I was like, why do I have celery seeds? I already have a lot, but this is a different variety, so I'm willing to give it a try. Reliable French celery, nutritious stalks, gourmet flavor, 18 to 22 inches tall. Interesting, cool. So I'm happy with this gift. I don't usually get celery as a gift from Baker Creek, and that's kind of neat. So this was the more recent order, the one that I got 2 weeks ago. And then I got this Swiss chard. That's cute. This little box that it comes in. Interesting. 5-color silver beet. So I like to grow all different colors of Swiss chard. If you're also growing rhubarb and you're a new gardener, be careful. If you're a veteran gardener, you're going to definitely see the differences between chard and rhubarb. But rhubarb leaves are toxic. With rhubarb, you can only eat the stalks. You cannot eat the leaves. I actually had a friend in FFA when I was a teenager. She didn't realize that they're toxic, and she gave the rhubarb leaves to her rabbits, and all of her bunnies died. And that same thing would happen to people. So you want to make sure that if you're growing rhubarb and chard, if you have kids or you have people who are harvesting from your garden other than yourself, and they don't really know the difference between the plants, they're not really into botany, I would not plant them in the same area. And make sure that you, like, if you have rhubarb, put a sign up or something that says leaves are toxic or something. I just really don't want to see anyone get hurt. I plant a ton of rhubarb, and I actually have like millions of seeds, and I actually plant it from the crowns and from the seeds. And I just worry that sometimes somebody is going to mistaken the red Swiss chard. They're going to think they're getting red Swiss chard, and then they're going to end up eating rhubarb leaves. After growing rhubarb and Swiss chard for a number of years, I obviously know the difference between the two. And if you've grown both plants, you'll probably spot those differences. But if a person sees, oh, red stalk, green leaf, sometimes people make mistakes because they're just newbies, and unfamiliar with those plants. So just be careful, especially with little ones. Okay, so this Swiss chard, and I love Swiss chard, it's so good. And you know Swiss chards and beets are the same species, so they will cross-pollinate. The idea, though, is that the beets for the tuber were just bred to get nice big roots, and Swiss chard was just bred to have nice leaves. But the beet leaves are also edible. So if you have beet seeds, and you don't think you have long enough to grow them, you can still grow them just for the leaves. That's kind of nice that they're versatile that way. These here says that they're originated from Australia, and it has lots of different colors. Now, one thing you can know is that the Dollar Tree does have Swiss chard seeds. Like in the early spring when they have their seeds, I've seen that they had Swiss chard, but it's just like a basic, it might be rainbow Swiss chard or just like a basic one. This one is kind of special, 5-color silver beet. And I do wonder how different it is from rainbow. So if you're really on a budget and you go to the Dollar Tree early spring, late winter sometimes, actually, late winter, early spring, you might look out and find some beet seeds there. But they don't have the seeds all year long. So we're going to sow in spring, early spring, sow in place. So with beets, obviously you're going to want to sow them in place too. There's no point in wasting your time sowing these kinds of seeds and then transplanting them. It's just wasteful. So go ahead and direct sow. Side dress with compost for best leaf production. So they're going to like nitrogen, right? So nitrogen in the soil is going to produce a lot more leaves. And so if you have a lot of compost, you're going to get a lot more of that. And if you have less, you're going to get bigger roots if you're growing beets. But I've grown beets in adequate soil and had really big root production. I've never grown them in really fertile soil. I just haven't. I can try it maybe sometime and do like a comparison or an experiment. If you're interested in seeing experiments like that where I compare soil quality, with different plant varieties, pop a comment below and I'll think about it. It does take some time to like figure out, okay, well, this container is going to just be poor quality. This one's going to have lots of nitrogen, and this one's going to have more compost or whatever. So it takes some organization on my part. If you're interested in seeing a comparison, pop a comment. Otherwise, I'll skip it. Looking here, so I've got some leeks. Oh, this whole little box comes out. So I've got some leeks. Leeks are so beautiful in the garden. When you walk around your garden and you see leeks, it's like, wow. It's like a whole nother level. They look just so gorgeous and the stalks are so thick. I haven't had a lot of experience growing leeks. I've had a lot more growing onions. Okay, this one is a European variety that's becoming rare. So it's kind of nice. If you see a rare variety and you're planting it and you're going to collect seeds, let it go to the second year and collect seeds, then it's nice if you only grow one type of allium that year. That way you know for sure that it's not being cross-pollinated and the seeds that you're saving are going to literally be the same. So I always try, if it's a rare variety, to really isolate it so it's not going to be contaminated with other genetics. It's high yielding and adaptable. See, I'm talking to you about, I really am looking for some keywords. I'm looking for things that are easy, high yielding, things that seed easily, things that are easy to propagate, perhaps things that, like garlic is great because you can save some cloves for planting and you can plant some. You could eat some, plant some, and save some. And I really like the idea of that because for just like long-term sustainability, it's going to be great to have things that you don't have to like baby it along and you don't have to put a lot of effort into it. So I'm not saying like lazy gardening because gardening is not lazy. Even the lazy ways of gardening, you're definitely putting in a lot of effort, but you don't want each individual plant to require a lot of fuss. So I like to have a lot of different things growing. I like to use all the space I possibly can, and that takes a lot of oversight and effort on my part, but I don't want any one crop to be like extremely taxing on resources. And time is a resource. So I got some leek seeds. I got, some more other. This one's an autumn giant. I got some Pablo lettuce. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, I'm not going to read all of it to you. I just want to see. Slow to bolt. See, that I like that. That's probably why I got this one. Slow to bolt. So in the hot summer sun, lettuce likes to go to seed really fast and it gets a really bitter flavor. So I am looking for slow bolting varieties, but slow bolting also means slow to seed. So if you're trying to gather seeds, that is the bad part of it. And if it's slow to bolt and it starts to go to seed in my late fall, then chances are I'm going to lose a lot of the seeds to just the dampness that we experience in Washington State. So yeah, I might get some seeds if it does bolt eventually. I just won't get a lot. When I planted black-seeded Simpson, it was the first type of lettuce I ever planted. It seeded everywhere, and yes, it would taste bitter in the hot summer sun, but the miracle of that plant was that I found black-seeded Simpson growing in my walkways as a volunteer. Like I found it everywhere. The next year. Eventually, they stopped reseeding or the birds got to it or something. But I had volunteers for years after growing black-seeded Simpson just once. And that's a blessing. I see a lot of gardeners like not liking their volunteers and thinking of them as weeds, but you're actually having free plants. You're getting free plants there. And so I like it when things self-seed. If it's slow to bolt and I'm planting it in late, it's growing in late fall, the downside, like I said, is that if it does bolt, the seeds might get wet because it rains a lot in the fall and winter. And so that's my downside. But if I was planting this in early spring and growing it into summer, it would be a good thing because then I'd have salads even when it's hot. So I will be comparing some different slow bolt varieties in the future to see which ones actually taste good. Lunix lettuce, because I do not like a bitter lettuce at all. It's not palatable. So it's a rare variety in the U.S. Oak leaf type produces lustrous, deep leaves, very slow to bolt. Rare, very good choice. So you can plant these side by side. But if I'm planting them side by side, what I would just do, because I don't want them to cross-contaminate the genetics, I would just decide which one I like better. And I would let that one go to seed, and then I would decide to harvest everything of the opposite one. So if I'm planting a couple different varieties of slow bolt, and they're rare, and I want to keep them pure, then the variety that I like the best, I'll actually let it keep growing and produce flowers and seeds. And the other one, I will harvest it in its entirety. That way, there's no cross-contamination. There's no risk of cross-contamination of genetics, just having them grow side by side. It's when they flower side by side, okay? Just for that. A little tidbit of science. Science. Okay. Now we've got one more little packet here. Package. So we've got the Chinese Chijimosai. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I have definitely duplicated this order. If you watch my other videos, you know I've ordered this before. So I'm sure I was like, dude, I thought I ordered that. It says it's a stunning new superfood. 4 times as much vitamin A as carrots. It's a cross between tatsoi and kamatsuna. Okay, umami flavor. Heat and cold tolerant, suitable to grow year-round in most zones. Best planted in cool spring or fall conditions, so in place. I'm going to go ahead and give this a chance. I'm going to grow some this year. So I'm putting this off to the side. I'm definitely going to try growing some of this for a fall crop, and we'll see how it goes. This one here is called Bells of Ireland, and this is not food. This is ornamental only, and I got it because it's just so pretty. And, yeah, it's just for ornamental purposes for me. I just see this in other people's gardens, and every time I see it, I think, oh, it's so pretty. And then I think, oh, I like to grow things that are edible. And I'm like, but I really do like to grow things that are just pretty too. So this is going to go in the front. It's an annual, cultivated since 1570. Tiny white flowers and very showy green, bell-shaped calyxes. Great cut flowers, fresh or dried. And it says sow in place in fall or winter. So I should be sowing this fairly soon. Yeah. I've never grown it before, so I'm going to trust their planting instructions. I might have to Google or watch some YouTube videos on growing Bells of Ireland. But I'm definitely going to be growing these. They're so pretty. And it will look really nice around a bunch of flowers. That's what my thoughts are. So I will be growing some edible things out in front by where the flowers are. And I grow a lot of edible flowers. These are not edible. Don't eat them. Don't get confused. But they're so pretty. And I love how it's this like lime green. It's lovely. And the last packet in here in this order, this is a duplicate. I've ordered it many times. But you don't get a lot of seeds for this one. So I think I'm going to love it. I'm really convinced I'm going to. So this packet's probably older than the other ones I've ordered. So I'm going to plant this one before I plant the others. You need to have some kind of seed rotation, which I have honestly been a hot mess about. But I'm going to be working on a new process, which I will go over in the future. Now this wax melon is from China. It has a long dark fruit. It looks like a bullet because I guess it looks like a bullet. I don't think so. I think it looks like a giant cucumber. It's used in moon pie filling and curries and a melon punch. Interesting. Another plant I'm really interested in growing is called shark fin melon. And I got the idea from Robbie and Carrie. I mentioned them a couple times on my channel, actually, and I forgot to plant them. I forgot to plant the shark melons, and I'm going to do that next year. I taught summer school this year. I was distracted. So the sprouts, and I wish they would say on the side here how many days to harvest. That is one thing I like about my Gardener, is that it will tell you how long it takes to germinate and how long it takes to the harvest. And that's really helpful in doing the math, because now I'm going to have to Google how long this takes to know when to plant it. But I'm not sad about this. I'm happy that I did order some extras of the wax melon. And isn't the kid so cute? It's adorable. I love their photography. The last package from Baker Creek, and the other couple things I have here are just like little pamphlets from when I got the Green Stalks, and I've noticed that they often put in either stickers or a seed packet. So we'll see what I got in those. Those are just a little extra bonus content. So let's check out this package here. I love this package with the little bunnies. It reminds me of Peter Rabbit. I mutilated the packet when I was opening it. The package when I was opening it, and I tore open a little bit of the lettuce. This is black seeded Simpson. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Oh my gosh, that's funny. So I was mentioning earlier how I grew black seeded Simpson. They were seeds from the Dollar Tree. I planted them once, and I had them for like 5 years. And because they just kept self-seeding everywhere. I want that to be a problem again. Like, I want that problem to happen again, but not be a problem. Like, just go crazy, man. Just go crazy. So I'm going to be planting these again. The black seeded Simpson. I want them to self-seed. I'm okay with it. I'm kind of bummed that I ripped the package open, though. What a space cadet. Okay. Yes, I ordered this recently. It was just, yeah, not even 2 weeks ago. Whoops, I forgot to show you the previous order here where I had like the wax melon and all those different kinds of lettuces and stuff. That one was $28.29, so under $30. This order here was only $11.51. I would so love to visit Baker Creek, the Missouri. Yep, the Missouri location. I would love that. They also had some kind of like event going on in California this summer, or actually it's like the first week of September. But I live too far away. It would just cost too much for me to go. But it would have been really cool. So I get always jealous whenever I see the little pamphlets about what's going on. I'm like, I wish I could go. So I actually think I might have ordered these before, but maybe not. Maybe I just thought about it. So I'm not sure how to say this. It's a squash. Geet Akosomin. Okay. You guys, I don't want to make myself sound any less intelligent than that just sounded. But this is some kind of squash, and it looks gorgeous. Kind of looks to me like that pink squash, the pink banana. So 105. See, I like it when they tell me the days. Thank you, thank you. Banana type. It is like a banana type. So I was thinking it looked like pink banana. Native American variety, stewarded by the people of the Miami Nation for countless generations. Delicious, sweet-fleshed squash. Extra large, thin-skinned, top-notch for a range of recipes. And squash like to be direct seeded. You don't have to, but it's best. You can set out transplants after the last frost date. Don't let transplants become root bound. So I'm really careful. One thing I like to do, one hack, is you can line the pot you're going to grow your seeds in with a coffee filter. And then when you take the plant out of the pot, you just grab the coffee filter and pull it up. And then you just lay it down when you plant it into the ground. And it makes it super easy. The roots don't get all messed up. And it seems to really help the plant avoid shock. So if you have coffee filters, line a little, like the little container you're going to plant your seed in with a coffee filter, put in your soil, plant your seed, water it like usual, and then just use the coffee filter to lift it out. Super handy. Okay, it needs rich soil. That's one thing to know. Lots of compost would be great. Harvest when rinds become very hard. So this is that variety right here. It is a banana type squash. It's beautiful. And this is the last seed packet from Baker Creek. This is the watermelon Royal Golden. I have horrible luck with watermelon Washington State. I'll be honest, I have never harvested an actual watermelon, even though I planted them multiple times. I'm still searching for the perfect watermelon for here. So let's see if this is the perfect one. This one says it's a beautiful and old heirloom, once offered by Will Height Seed of Poolville, Texas. It's the most beautiful watermelon that they carry. The rind turns brilliant golden yellow when ripe. So that's nice, because a lot of times I can't tell if the watermelon's ripe or not, but this one will turn yellow when it's ripe. Direct seed it or indoor start transplants, obviously after frost, because they like the warmth. It needs lots of rich soil, just like the squashes. So squashes and melons are going to like lots of fertile soil. So that is it for my Baker Creek order. Let's get into the few little packets I might have gotten with my green stalks. I'm trying to be really frugal in my garden. I waited for the green stalks to go on sale, and they had like a 10-year sale where I got the green stalks for literally $100 for each one. So I got, I think I did 2 pink and 2 green. I haven't set them up yet. I just have had a really busy summer. I'm going to do that for next year or whenever I have time. Let's rip this open and I'll see what I have inside. So it comes with a little pamphlet that tells you how to use your stuff, and then it has the dill seeds. And I'm not mad about it. I love dill. I actually have way too much dill seeds because I gathered some seeds from my husband. Actually had a project he was doing at somebody else's property, and they had a big dill plant that had gone to seed. He brought it home to me because they just wanted to compost it, or actually throw it away. They don't compost. And I took all the seeds off of it and I let it to dry. So I literally have enough seeds to last forever. But I don't know what variety it is. This one says bouquet dill. I love to grow dill because my youngest son will just stand out in the garden and pick the leaves and eat it. I like it in a salad, or on a sandwich. It tastes really, really good. And I honestly don't mind if it goes crazy and self-seeds like a weed everywhere. I will be happy with that. I'm going to guess that the other 2 packages have the same thing, but let me go ahead and find out really fast and I'll update you really quickly. So I was half right. I got 2 of the dill bouquet and 1 sweet Italian basil. So that was just a kind of little nice gift for them to give me because I didn't order seeds from them. I only ordered the green stalks. So it's nice that they gave me these extra seeds, and I'll put them together with my seed stash for my upcoming gardens. And this is going to be for, I think I'm going to do those next spring. But it does say don't plant them near carrots. I like that they tells you little hints about planting instructions. Sometimes when you get free seeds, it doesn't have a lot of information, but this one does tell you how to plant them. Now, I would say I wouldn't necessarily plant dill in a green stalk because these plants can get massive. So I would plant basil in a green stalk. Dill, I would plant in the ground just because of space. Hope you've enjoyed going through this seed haul with me, and seeing all these crazy seeds. Some I recently purchased and some are from actually 3 years ago. But it's exciting because it's kind of like a neat surprise that I've actually forgotten about them. Some duplicates, which means I can be a little bit less worried when I'm planting them, because I'll have backups. And I have some seeds for my classroom as well, as the kids are going to be planting the cactus or the cacti. Anyhow, you know what I say. Be good, be sweet, and grow a garden if you want to eat. I'll see you next time.